Crypto Tim, just a whole bunch of them. I don't know where they all are. Either they're getting rest until the launch or what.
Well, I mean, they're presumably off discussing other options as far as it regards to when Pulsechain launches and projects, etc. There's a lot of cool shit in the works, and everyone will be aware of it at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But do not fear, you are pretty damn safe if you have the right approach with X and your copies. That, you know, long term, this shit's gonna pay off nice.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly big on that way. Like I say, I'm doing these short-term stakes just to accumulate. You know, when I do them just now, technically, I'm spending more on gas fees than I'm earning. But, you know, I'm not looking at it short term. I'm looking at it like I say, almost 1,000 hex or, 10 quid, which is pretty decent in my eyes. I mean, it seems, especially from everything I know, that it's not unreasonable that it's fairly easy for Hex to reach $1. So, $1,000 for $10, no brainer.
That's true. That's true.
Hold on just a second.
What?
Somebody has an open mic.
Yeah, Rax, your mic's open. I thought you were trying to say something.
Sorry, guys. It was in my pocket. Bumped it. So quiet. Man,
Yeah,
I miss the old days.
I just need people to talk. How are you? How are you getting on with accumulating your bags, stakes, etc., etc., etc.? I see you in here all the time, but I don't think I've ever heard you speak.
Is that me, Rax, you're talking to?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, just sitting patiently. I'm more of a lurker than a talker. So, but I get a lot of good information from people here, and I like to listen. Don't mean to interrupt though with my open mic. So,
No, don't be silly, man. Listen, a pebble dropped in a pond creates many ripples. That's why I come back in and drop whatever pebble I can.
so does anybody know anything about this? Not that I know it's a third party, but there's something that's supposed to be a free airdrop. Does anybody know anything about that? The one that was supposed to drop today. I know. Maybe I shouldn't even bring it up here. So, but nobody's talking about anything.
I've heard of one recently. I don't know if it's the same one, and to be honest, I couldn't even remember the name of it to tell you. But there's very little information on it, and it's dropping an airdrop on people at Sacrifice for like 8 different projects or something. Seems a little bit iffy to me, especially because of how little info there is, and that's one of the reasons this group is the way it is. is because, you know,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
this like red tape
to
thing.
hear more from the community, but anyways, I didn't want to bring up the name. I know this isn't the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's so many third-party projects, and you know, it's so hard to vet them unless you're in the right kind of place. And yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about, and yeah, again, good example. Seems a little suspect, but we don't know.
Yeah, it was supposed to be today, I think, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to do it anyways. I don't. What's that? Picking up pennies in front of freight trains type thing, you know?
Yeah, you've got to be careful, man. You've got to be careful, and that's what this group promotes. You know, there's been a lot of complaints and stuff for discussion in this group, but even though I'm involved with some of these other groups, I will always champion the base message of this group, which is safety first.
Yes, I'm going to go back into lurk mode here. I'm just busy doing some work here, so good to talk.
Hey, no problem, man.
I'll throw a pebble in the pond, I guess. I'm a lurker as well. I've seen like for whatever reason over the past say 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen the number of participants dwindle down from it used to be at least 40 or higher, and I think lately it's been going to like in the 20s or high teens now. So not sure if there's any correlation or explanation there, but that's kind of interesting.
It's very much a bear market thing, and you know the delay of the chain, and so much of the discussion in the group has been repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated for a long time. Um, but it's important to keep a group like this way, uh, and have participants, like I said, and you've just done, drop a pebble in the pond, because there are so many people that just log onto this chat. They may not want to talk, but there is a shitload they can learn about security, about Hex, about Pulse, about PulseX, and how it all works, etc. So it's,
You know,
it's important to keep the discussion going whenever we can. Be brave.
Agreed. That makes sense. I was wondering, I know this is a post chat, but is Hex typically fair game to talk about in here, or is it? Do you guys try to keep it
Of
mainly
course,
post?
all our H projects are fair game here.
Okay. Well then,
You ran
I
out.
do.
Did listen. I've literally done a live uh, longbow shooting demonstration in this chat before, just so you know. So all kinds of shit can happen here, but
Mhm.
we keep it safe and we keep it sensible as far as what people do with their money. That's all.
Got it. Um, yeah. Well, specific to Hex, then the thing that I've been trying to figure out, maybe you guys have been along the same thoughts, is that this latest price dump is correlated with the market for Hex, right? So everything is down 85 or 90%. Are we, is the general thought that there's going to be some divergence at some point and Hex will come back up before maybe more of the bigger players come back up like a Ethereum or Bitcoin? Or is the idea that it's going to be kind of riding the same wave together? When Bitcoin and Ethereum come back up, then we should expect Hex to come back up. Like, what's the general thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, Hex on Ethereum will always generally follow the trend of Bitcoin, or sorry, Ethereum, and therefore Bitcoin. So because it's literally correlated with them, so it will always, to a degree, follow them. The staking aspect, and then depending what happens with people and how they transfer their assets after the fork, does play a role in how it will perform. And it may even perform better if more people moved. Anyway, we'll not go into that. But yes, it is correlated for sure. Like, there's no two ways about that. The staking aspect, and then how the likes of whales behave, has an effect on that. But yeah, Hex on Ethereum will generally follow the market, which is Ethereum, which is then Bitcoin.
Okay. And then maybe the next logical question is, I'm assuming part of that correlation is because Hex is, currently on the Ethereum network, but
Yeah,
for
liquidity
P,
pools in that sense.
right? So then, is there any additional divergence expected when PHEX comes live from Ethereum because it's a separate node?
Well, what I touched on there was a divergence may come. I mean, I can't do it total justice here, but a divergence may come from the fact that maybe a lot of people will either sell off or and then move, or just straight move their EHEX over to Pulsechain. But there's a massive amount of EHEX stakes. So the divergence may happen in the sense that APY for your stakes in Ethereum may rocket up. That's one possibility.
Got it.
Otherwise, there may not be much of a divergence, depending on the movement of the coins. But yeah, you've kind of got those two options: either people move a shit ton of their asset over to Pulsechain, and then your APY on your stakes goes up, and then I've heard estimations that they won't go too far from 30% of each other, because they are still technically linked to each other. So it's not like we're going to see EHEX just fucking bomb. Like, that's just not going to happen. Or Hex or Ethereum. It's just not going to happen. Or, nothing really changes and things kind of stay the same and there's somewhat of a parity. We don't know. We can only guess. We can only hypothesize. But either way, me personally, I'm happy with the Hex that I have in Ethereum. I have no real interest in moving it at all.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, right now, but it's part of that reason because like any sort of transaction on the Ethereum network right now to either accumulate more or whatever, like the fees are back to being low again, right? So, um,
Yeah, the GOE is low for now. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out as well. And then the other part is that around launch, you're gonna have a lot of noise, a lot of volatility, but I'm looking more at the medium to longer term views. Like those things are gonna be after you shake out all the noise around launch and maybe the subsequent 3 to 6 months, then that's where I'm really looking for the answers to the divergence or the convergence questions.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're doing by the sounds of it. Like 3 to 6 months. That's a pretty safe timeline to wait, especially as we're, moving from bear to bull. So, sounds like you've got a smart approach to it, man.
Yeah, hopefully, man. See how it all shakes out, but like everyone in the community, very hopeful to say the least.
Me personally, I'm confident.
Nice.
Hopeful for me, like genuinely, I set myself a hopeful target of $1 for Hex. Like literally, anything above that for me is gravy. But I'm confident that it's going to be a solid asset on both chains. I believe on Pulsechain, obviously, because it's built for that, essentially. you know,
Mhm.
of course it's going to be a success on that chain. Maybe not in the beginning when people swap their copies for PulseX and Pulse. But in the long term, yeah. In the long term in Ethereum, I have no worries either. Especially listening to much smarter people than myself.
Sure. Yeah. One thing I was trying to figure out, like I know there's like a lot of unclarity around like the actual, like what are the actual outstanding maybe development to be done on Pulse um, chain to sort of release, or Pulse network. Um, but I was wondering, like, and this is the part that I haven't delved into, and maybe I should, just to get a better sense of it. But like, there's like a test net or a test main or something that we can go to, and we can kind of see like what the current state is or close to. How often is that sort of test or main, whatever that test net is? How often is that being updated?
The testnet is live now. You can go. I think maybe you're getting two things slightly conflated there. Is the testnet is basically a working but not live version of what Pulsechain is, and I've played with it a fair amount, and it's pretty fucking seamless. It's just like working with Ethereum, if not better. And I've not even gone as deep into it as a lot of people have. But also as far as like understanding what's going on, it's a GitLab, like the GitLab tells you, where they are as far as development. I'm not sure how up to date those statistics and information are, but
Mm,
that's where you get that information. I don't really bother with any of that though.
yeah, yeah, he's gonna release it whenever he's able to release it, essentially. So yeah, it
Yeah, I
makes
mean,
sense.
preparation, preparation, preparation.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if the that test net has been, let's say, available. I think it came out like in Christmas, right? So maybe like 6 months now or 7 months now, that, or if even whenever they started posting the Git statistics, like if you took like a 3 month snapshot, like over the past, what, 6 to 9 months, like are people seeing, um, updates that would reflect that there's um, adequate progress being made? But
I
yeah, I
don't
don't
think
know.
there's been any major updates in the last month or two, as far as that's concerned. I mean, you
Okay.
don't see it on the testnet per se.
You're right,
You
right,
just
right.
experience it. Um,
Mhm.
you get that information from GitLab, but I don't think there's been any updates really in the past month or so, as far as I'm aware. But don't take my word for gospel. It's essentially a viable, launchable product, but there's still a lot of other stuff they can work on, and they want to, so that it's seamless when it is launched.
Got it. Very cool. Yeah, no, that's very helpful right there.
You're welcome, man. Just passing on what the best way, what information I have.
Much appreciated.
I mean, I urge you, when you're in here, and you see guys like Gamma, ProfX, Elmer, Papa Boner, all those guys, like, pose your questions, man, because they will give you far better answers, probably, than I could. Like I say, you can have discussions about pretty much anything on here. Shit, one morning I did almost a 2-hour Q&A on health questions. You know, you're free to talk, but we just don't fuck with people's money.
Yeah, and then it seems like just like the other gentleman that was on a few minutes ago, like just be cautious about bringing up non-Richard Hart projects. I guess is like the other hidden rule, or maybe explicit, something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason for that, right, in a group like this is there's a lot of people, right? So take me. I've been in this group for maybe 3 months. I've learned a shitload from this group and in the last few weeks from other groups. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who are like I was, who knew very little, who are in a position like I am, who could really do with making a lot of money right now. Okay, so as soon as you start mentioning third party projects, sacrifices, talking about them, I mean, you only, trust me, you only have to go into one of these group chats, not even with voice chat, and see the FOMO and like how they pump their projects, and it's easy to get caught up in the hype, and then also easy to get fucking wrecked if you decide, oh, this is the one, and you put your money into it, and then fuck, it's gone. So that's why they're very careful in this group, and I've argued this point in other groups as well. It's like, I get it why they're like this. Yeah, like, it's to keep people safe, you know, and as they're always saying, do your own research, you know. And I'll say this to everybody here: ask questions, ask questions, because you won't fucking learn otherwise. And you certainly won't learn about anything else or get involved with any other people that can teach you anything if you don't. And you won't get it in fucking text chat either, chat boys, because text chat is where all the fucking scammers hover. They won't come in here because scammers don't work in here because they will get fucking called out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did notice that. Just the general sort of usefulness of the replies in the chat compared to the discussion on here that I listen to is pretty much night and day. Like over here, there's actual uh, legitimate conversations or discussions happening that make sense. So yeah, I try to avoid the chat for the most. I find myself uh, getting roped into the chat sometimes, and then I realize, like, what am I doing here? I'm just wasting my time. So yeah, the voice chat is definitely night and day.
I do one of two things in the text chat when I make it in, and that is try and give people genuine advice or trolls. Well, I get a kick out of trolling trolls. I love it.
Yeah.
But I can't protest how much I learned just from this chat alone. Like, ridiculous. As someone that was pretty new to the game, like, crazy. Kept me safe. Stop. By the way, this group chat right here, especially because I asked questions, it stopped me from losing all my money. Just so you know. I would have lost all my money the next day if I hadn't found this chat.
What was the scenario? Was it like a market timing thing, or was it just like sending your keys into the wrong person? Or
Yeah. I found out about Richard Hart and then came in here, searched the wrong group, thought I found what was a genuine group, didn't know what I was doing, originally gave away my keys,
oh wow,
and then came in here and found out, no, 100% absolutely not. So found it out quick. The little money I had put in that account, I then moved out I still have that account live on one of my devices just in case the scammer puts money in it so I can take it out. But yeah, I was fucking dumb, didn't know what I was doing, not your keys, not your coin, all that sort of stuff. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and this group saved me and put me in a very, very safe place. So I'm fucking happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad it didn't turn out otherwise.
It would have been horrible. It would have been my entire savings. It would have been
Man,
every penny I had stored away, which isn't that much, but it's all I've got. So yeah, like I say, that's one of the reasons I come back here, and I feel like I need to pay my dues and try and help other people and encourage them to ask questions, to talk, anything. Just say hello, whatever, because it's that pebble in the pond.
yeah. Now that you raised that, I'm thinking about all the sort of things that I've tried to figure out in the past that I haven't. One thing that does come to mind actually is like early on when I bought X pretty much within the first year that it came out, and kind of made some dumb trades or whatnot, but I still have a decent position. But one of the
Oh,
things that
slave trading.
yeah, I shouldn't have traded. I'm just stupid, but I had some life stuff come up and I needed the money, and I don't know if I haven't really calculated like what my overall cost basis is, but definitely acquiring again on this decline, so I feel good about that. But I'm still very much a believer in his projects. But I remember at the time, and I still had never revisited it, but the whole MetaMask thing versus like getting it on your own hardware wallet, like a Trezor or something like that. Um, what what's the, I guess, the typical profile of the average Hex user? Are they mainly keeping it in MetaMask still, or have people kind of taken more ownership and got it onto their hardware wallet these days? Or
I would say
any
the
thoughts?
typical profile of the Hex user would be hardware wallet, just down to the due diligence of this chat and community. It's very rare that I bump into a Hex user now that doesn't understand the importance of getting your private fucking keys off the internet, and then
Mhm.
also having a second one where your keys have never touched the internet.
So they have like essentially two Trezors or two like hardware wallets, and they have like one kind of hot and one kind of cold or something like that.
Yeah, basically. So for someone like me, and which is the case for most people who come in, is that you start with with me, I started on exchanges, and then I moved everything to MetaMask so that it was under my control. And then what I did was I migrated my keys from MetaMask to from a safe MetaMask, not the one that was compromised, just so you know, opened up a new one, and then, mm, well, what I did was I opened up a new one, transferred all the funds to there because I'm OCD, and then what I did was transfer those funds again to another wallet so that whoever had those keys to the initial wallet would see the transaction to one wallet, but then they couldn't see the transaction to the other wallet, if you know what I mean. Well, not as easily. It's just my OCD way, so I transferred it twice. But then what basically you migrate those private keys to a hardware wallet so they're off of the internet, like they don't exist there anymore. So no one
Yeah.
can hack them, etc., without a lot of stress to do it. And usually they have to actually get your hardware wallet to do it, unless you're really fucking dumb and you allow yourself to interact with contracts that say we can access everything. So when you're doing transactions with your hardware wallet or any other wallet for that matter, you have to pay attention to what it says and what permissions it gives.
Okay.
But when you have your second one, which is called in here your Vault wallet, that's your second wallet.
Got it.
In my case and many other people's cases, is a hardware wallet where you generate the keys on the device so they never touch the internet. You do it via Trezor, but the way it's, I won't go into the technicalities of it, but basically you generate those keys on that device, local to that device.
Mm. Yeah,
So they never touch the internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I remember like just doing a couple test transactions and sending the hex to the Ethereum address on my Trezor. And then I was like, I remember being confused because like the balance for hex would not show up. And I was like, I couldn't figure out like, is there some sort of drop down that I couldn't find or whatnot, like within the Ethereum wallet that I needed to enable?
Oftentimes sometimes what you need to do is you need to go into, let me just pull this up because I've got my laptop in front of me. So you would click on your MetaMask extension, which I'm doing just now. Give me a second.
Yeah, so on MetaMask,
scroll down at the bottom.
Okay, gotcha.
You would press import tokens. Yes.
Right. So I'm able to get it to display on MetaMask, right? But when I'm sending it, let's say I'm sending it from my MetaMask wallet to my hardware device wallet. In this case, I had a Trezor. And then when I send it there, now I'm looking at the Trezor wallet, and I'm not able to get the Trezor wallet to display the hex balance or anything like that. And that's the part where I remember like I just gave up and I just said, all right, I'll just go ahead and use the MetaMask wallet instead.
So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes on your MetaMask, like it's not, right. MetaMask is the front end for your Trezor, right? So when you have your Trezor connected to your MetaMask, you go down to the bottom. Don't see your token, import tokens, right? So you click that, and it'll bring up a page. It says token contact address, token symbol, and token decimal. Yeah.
Got it.
So you look up you go into Etherscan and you look up the token contract address for Hex, the token symbol and decimal number, and you add custom token. Because I've had to do this with other tokens. I don't think I had to do it with Hex, but I had to do it with other tokens. And once you import that, then it will show your balance. It just doesn't show it because you haven't imported the token. And you'll come across this, like, see, when you start delving into other areas of crypto, you'll come across this type of thing where you have to import the contact addresses, etc. Some sites will let you do it directly from there, but yeah, learning how to do it manually is, and understanding that process is important. So you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says import tokens, and there you go.
Yeah.
As long as you're in the right wallet, and that's all, or sorry, right address.
The key thing there is that the light bulb that just went off was that I didn't realize the MetaMask is a front end from your Trezor. So that means there's some sort of integration with MetaMask that allows you to connect your Trezor to it. I was treating those as two entirely separate wallets. So like Trezor, I guess, has its own web interface, and MetaMask has their own. So they each had their unique addresses, and I was just sending it back and forth. But if there's a way to make MetaMask the front end to your Trezor, then that's the part that I never understood. And just
Okay, yes. So your MetaMask wallet on your browser is essentially the way I use it and the way I've been taught to use it through this group is your dummy wallet. Right. So for instance, I use my MetaMask without my hardware wallet to interact with the testnet and Rinkbay testnet and stuff like that. But then what I want to do is I want to click on the circle. So when you click your plugin, your browser plugin, there's beside the network, that will say network, probably Ethereum mainnet. Beside that, you click the circle and then connect hardware wallet. You have your hardware, obviously you want your hardware wallet connected, and then it'll bring up Trezor, Ledger, etc., etc., and then you connect your hardware wallet, type in your PIN code, boom. Sorry, select your wallet, which is usually the first one on the list, and then boom, you're in. You have your hardware wallet connected via MetaMask as your front end.
Got it. All right. Yep. That's the exercise I need to do. That makes sense now. I appreciate that.
Excellent, man. No problem. If you don't know about it, howtopulse.com has great information on all this. That's where the likes of Papa Boner and all that, that's where they live. That's their work. And you get great safe information there.
It was howtopulse.net.
.com.
.com. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
They'll teach you the migration and everything. There is actually I can't remember it. I think, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up in main chat. I think I might remember it. HYMNG. No, it's not that. Maybe is that it? Fuck, no, that's not it.
I just
can't
posted
remember.
it. It's exclamation point HWMIG.
MIG, that's what it is. There you go. Good man. Thank you, Impulsive.
Got it. Okay. Let me see this.
There you go. I just pulled it up in main chat for you.
Got it. Trezor setup and migration by Papa. Okay. Nice. I got the YouTube videos too. Sweet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all there for you, brother. Stay safe, man. Keep that shit safe.
Most definitely.
And one thing's pretty much for sure. If you do not want to be tied to the common market, then Pulsechain looks to fucking very much be solving that problem. as in ups, downs, etc.
Another thing's been weighing on me is like what the tax implications are. There's like a separate like form or something for tax stuff, right? Or Richard Hart mentions it on the stream or something like that. But I just always forget what it is.
There's a good site. The name I don't remember. Impulsive. You're in. Do you know the name of the site that you literally post in your addresses and they calculate your taxes?
I think that's Coinly, DG, sorry, mate. Coinly.
Yeah, I
Coinly.
think
Yes,
he's
that's
the
the
one
one.
that Papa B uses.
Yeah, Coinly's good. There's also other Telegram chats. Let me have a look. So if you're in the UK, it's crypto_gov_UK. And the other one is just crypto.gov. So they talk about all that shit in there as well.
Spinning a gem thus far, 6 punch outs against the Yankees. And as we talk about
Sorry
World
about that.
Series heroes, we're pleased to be
Watching some baseball there.
Yeah. Let's say I have I got a few $100s in profit in a gambling account that, let's say, when I liquidate it, is going to be used to buy Hex, or that's the hope at least.
Oh shit, man. I hope they bat well.
Yeah. I typically try to bet against the Yankees since everyone else are typically takes them, but you have to time it, and it's not always profitable. So.
You sound like a
I
trader,
would
Sean.
recommend
You sound like a trader.
it. Yeah, but this is like what would you call it? This is like tiny dollar amounts compared to what I always put it this way, that the gambling is kind of like hundreds of dollars, and then the Hex stuff is gonna be hopefully thousands. So just trying to build that bankroll as much as possible so I can buy the dip, DCA, however you guys want to say it.
Yeah, man. Accumulate smart. DCA right now, best fucking time to do it, and staking smart.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's just say any 3-year stake just now is probably going to pay out pretty fucking well.
Yeah, you mentioned like your hope was $1, but what is your confident number, I guess?
Oh, no, that's $1. I'm pretty confident on $1.
Oh, you're pretty confident.
I've heard like all kinds of numbers, but $1 seems pretty cool to me. I mean, ideally for me, I would like to see Hex as the stable coin on Pulsechain. I mean, I know that's not really a thing, and they'll create a stable coin, etc. But $1 is good for me. And I got in at 12 cents, by the way. I'm not one of these early people that got in at low prices or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, $1 would be amazing.
But I've heard much bigger numbers from smarter people,
Yeah. What's towards the higher range? Maybe not the most outrageous prediction, but maybe something that's higher from someone credible. How high have you heard?
Oh, I mean, I've heard like as a reasonable amount, $100. I don't think they gave a time scale for that, but it's perfectly reasonable. Certainly on Pulsechain that it could reach that, I suppose. I mean, you look at some of the other assets that do stupid numbers and they're nowhere near as good as this one.
Yeah, man, if it goes to $100 in my lifetime, I'm gonna be tripping balls, man.
Fuck yeah.
And truth be told, when it hits $1, I'm going to be tripping balls that day as well.
Yeah, me too, because I'm going to be smart with my money, smart with mistakes, understand the market a little bit better, how it ebbs and flows, especially on the Ethereum side, because that side of things is not fucking going anywhere. It may be different on Pulsechain, should be different on Pulsechain as far as how the market ebbs and flows. Not fucking with an almost totalitarian control by the standard market via Bitcoin. Yeah, I have hopes, but $1, I'm happy with smart staking and etc. The thing is, a lot of us are in the same boat as me. We're not the big players. We, we neither have the knowledge or the finances to buy in, buy out. So holding is our best asset, hodling, which is proven so often in the past to be a good strategy. But there's a lot of us with that, with the big players. They'll sell a top and DCA and buy a bottom, etc. There's a lot of that play that goes on. But for the likes of me, and I presume many of us in this chat, smart accumulation and holding and staking with an asset like this is undoubtedly our best bet.
Yeah, like I have a list of kind of areas that, if I had the free time, like what I would study on with regards to Hex and Pulsechain or whatnot. And one of the things, like my hypothesis that I need to prove right or wrong, is that if I actually studied staking strategies more, like the staking ladders, and if I looked at like actually like where the stakes are out into the future, and then I came up with a strategy there, then that would take it from maybe like, making, decent to good amount of money to being potentially like a filthy amount of money. It's like, I think it would be worth it if I just sat for a weekend and just kind of like read up on staking strategies and try to like understand the various tools and charts out there that will give you insights into where the stakes are. But I don't know, right? Like this is all like
No. You're 100% right, Sean. It is a smart move to learn about this stuff. And also be careful at the same time. But yeah, it's a smart move to learn about this stuff. So for instance, someone in my position, right, I have like under $10,000 invested in this, yeah, which is all I've got. So I have a finite amount. I have one stake that is stretched out as a birthday present to myself when I'm 45. So it's like a 4-year stake. And that'll get doubled over in the Pulsechain, and we'll see what happens with that. In hindsight, I would have done it a year earlier, because likely we're going to see the top of the bear market in 3 years or so. I don't know. This isn't financial advice, by the way, to anyone listening. But my overall plan right now, because of my small amount, is I'm going to make short stakes with the maximum amount. Yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll accumulate. So like I did a stake that's up at the end in the 1st of August. It'll cost me about $10, but I'm going to get almost 1,000 hex out of it. Yeah, so it's like $10 for 1,000 hex. You do the math on that. Pretty good price in my eyes. I'm going to continue to do that probably till the end of the year, because I'm not looking to trade any of my hex for anything else. I'm just going to wait and dry powder if I want anything else. And accumulate to the point where I've got enough where I can start to make a longer stakes. So like 3 months, but it's then going to bump it up. And then from there, so I've got a kind of short, medium, and long term. I've explained this before in here. So short term is like monthly stakes to accumulate, spend a few bucks, spend a few bucks, spend a few bucks. Not worry about, oh, by the end of the stake, have I earned more than I've paid in gas fees? That's not a fucking problem for me at all. I don't care, especially because of the size of my stakes. Like $10 for 1,000 hex, for instance, that's a no-brainer to me. Especially moving forward. By the time the let's say the top of the bull market comes, I'll be looking to be earning a fucking good amount on quarterly stakes per year. All right. Then hopefully from that I'll be able to flesh it out to 10 and 15 year, etc. Whether I keep that on Ethereum, or I keep that on Pulse is another matter. I'll be quite happy to keep stuff on Hex because there's a good chance the APY will just go up and up and up on Ethereum chain. But again, that's speculation. And then once I've got to that stage, I'll then once again start to break it down into quarterly stakes. Sorry, monthly stakes. Because I'll have enough by that point where I can start earning monthly off it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. You've definitely put a lot more thought into it than what I have. I think I just pretty much did like one
No,
5 year
bro.
stake.
No, bro.
One
I've not
stake.
put more thought into it than you have. I've just maybe been listening longer, listened to people like, a chap that used to be in here all the time called Pepe. I'm actually the next time I talk to him, I'm gonna tell him to get his fucking ass back in here and talk about this stuff again. He's got a great staking strategy, awesome staking strategies. And I didn't, I learned a lot from him, but then what I did is what I learned from him, who clearly has a lot more money than me to play with. I took what he taught me and then applied it, adjusted it along with other stuff, and made up my own strategy, So I guarantee I've not thought about it more than you. I've just, heard more people talking about it. That's all. That's the only place where that knowledge comes from.
Yeah, that would be it'd be good to kind of get a notification when those type of people come on, like a Pepe or something like that. But I can't pay attention to the chat because I have the chat muted because obviously it's like a lot of noise in there. But some sort of like notification, like when we got these speakers on, then would be good because then I can make it a priority to sneak out of work and join if it's happening during the day, or if it's at night, then I can, obviously have them please.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky to do that kind of stuff. I could maybe like talk to him and make an announcement in the text chat or something, but yeah. And Pepe's hardcore, man. He's been through the ringer. He bought almost nearly at the top. If there's any soldier in this fucking army that knows how hard it is, it's that man.
Nice.
I mean, I think he got in the 40s, Let me have a quick look, actually. I'll be back in 2 seconds. You still there, Sean?
I am.
Cool. Right, give me 2 seconds. I'll try and hook you up with Pepe. I'll try and hook you up with Pepe. All right.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
I just spoke to him. He's happy to talk about it. The man's always happy to talk about it. He's just busy right now. That's all.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Makes sense.
Okay, man, I just sent you a DM.
All right, give me 1 second here. Oh, nice. All right.
Cool.
Here to prove you're human. Okay.
Don't worry, I believe you're human.
Yeah, it just has gives you like a little quiz here. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Now return to chat.
Let me know when you get it, and I'll do my thing.
All right. Okay, I think I just sent a message there.
Just join.
Oh, join. Oh, okay, got you. 1 second.
So does anyone else have any questions? Anything they're wondering about? Any curiosities? I'll help if I can. Let's talk about Hex, baby.
I have a question, if possible.
Of course, man. I'll help if I can. And I'm sure other people listening may be able to help as well. So, shoot.
Good afternoon, Monsieur. Very general question. Why do people interact less in the bear market than in the bull market?
Simple answer, because they feel like shit. Yeah, that's the God's honest truth. You know, like,
Or are noobs as well, no?
there's that too. Yeah, for sure. But it's a general human trait. You know, it's a general human trait. Like, when things are shit, people feel shit. When things are good, people feel good. You know, people don't have that, or a lot of people don't have that regulation of their emotions. As simple as that. Which is crazy, because if you know this game, and I'm a fucking newcomer as far as I'm concerned, and I know enough to know that, fuck me, you know, I wish I had the money to DCA in every week into this. Like, literally, like, I don't understand, knowing what I know, why people would feel bad in this market, unless, I don't know, especially not in Hex, although even Hex feels the fucking brunt of the bear's claws. On Ethereum, hopefully not on Pulsechain. Doesn't look like it's going to be the same on Pulsechain. But yeah, you know, even when you're feeling the bear's claws in your back, like, there's gains to be made. Like, I wish I have the money to put into it now. Like, fucking hell! Like, you're literally living through. If you're into cryptocurrency right now at this moment, and you have money to invest, you're literally fucking getting in at a ridiculous price, and it probably will go lower as well, by the way. And I don't think there's any admins on to chastise me for that. Nope. Not that I can see.
But yeah, that's why I asked the question. You know, it's funny, in bear markets and in crypto, it's a different story, because, you know, if you want to have an account in FX, stocks, it's a different budget, no? But in DeFi, I think, you know, taking in consideration the gas fees and everything, what I've understood is that it's not like, let's say, just to make a round number, what do you think, DG, just to make like $1,000, no? What many people do, and what I've seen, and what I've also done, is that they do a one exhibition buy. Like, oh, I think it's the low, I think it's the high, and I do it right now. But I think people are starting to understand what is DCA, which is dollar cost average. So with the same example of $1,000, instead of doing it in one exhibition, let's say today, 5th of July, because you saw some, tweet or whatever, and you think it's the low, so no. And this is a clear example of the abuse of the leverage, because all the dead bodies that are going around, the Celsius, the Voyagers, the 3 Hours Capital, has been an abuse of this of leverage system. So DCA, in my opinion, what I thought is, for example, if you have $1,000, just to round it up, you could do it under or over. It's the same mathematical concept. Is divided in, for example, for me would be 10 exhibitions, 10 time exhibitions instead of 10 price exhibitions. I think people are confusing price with time. And when you see what Bitcoin did from its initials, the people who are successful are not people who do one exhibition transactions. They're actually people who do dollar cost average and hodl. And I think this is the cycle of who stays, who understands. And I think this is a very special moment for Hex, because seeing so many dead bodies all around, people will understand, like, oh my God, after all this teenager finance, irresponsible leverage, bad code, not your keys, not your coins, people are going to go back to the secure instruments. And Hex is every day going into that category, because it's a survivor and it's a grower. What are your thoughts?
I agree, my friend. I mean, the demographic you're talking about is me. I got in about 12 cents, 12.5 cents. I don't know the exact number. So I've seen my bag decrease by 2/3. Well, 3/3, 3/4, sorry. I'm not good with numbers. But
for example, you did it in one exhibition, huh?
No, I mean, like, I would advise that, of course, but I think many of us that have come into this have come into it on the hype, the FOMO, and put a lot of their money into it. And me personally, I don't regret it, because understanding the market, I know that it's going to go back up. Like, I'm looking at Hex for $1, and I'm happy with that. That's roughly, or will definitely be, by the time I'm finished, at least a 10x of what I put in. And do you know what? I'm fucking happy with that. That's fine. So the main thing is, and another thing you touched on, is that it's a future investment. Like, what is this community all about? Delayed gratification. You understand? So it's about being smart with how you stake, how you stay liquid, and not much else really when it comes to Hex.
Yeah, my brother, I feel you. You entered point 12 and you see your portfolio in a different number. I think personally, in the crypto market, stocks market, everything that is happening, we're in a capitulation phase, liquidation phase, and the market will understand which are the serious projects. So that's why I was talking about DCA in. Like, for example, if you have a budget of $1,000, instead of doing it in one transaction today, because you heard a tweet, divide it in 10 transactions and do it weekly or bi-weekly. And that is how mathematically, that's what Buffett does. That's what, it's the seriousness of the product. And we've seen in crypto that many projects have been dead. And I'm so happy for the flush. You know what's my analogy, DG? I don't know if you like it or the rest. For me, it's when it rains hail. It doesn't rain, it rains ice. And here where I live, it happened a few days ago. And I woke up really early morning to go to work. And I saw the whole city full of leaves because it hailed the night before, ice dropped, and the whole city was full of leaves. And for me, that was the perfect analogy of a capitulation or a flush, in the sense that the tree that's left, the leaves that are left are the good ones. Those ones are going to grow in an agricultural sense and in a financial sense for me. It was a very interesting analogy. What are your thoughts or anybody's thoughts of the hail?
I love that analogy, my friend. I love that. As a man that often goes out into nature, like regularly, I fucking love that analogy. And you're absolutely correct. Like, I mean, for a basic motherfucker like me, like accumulating and hodling in an asset like HEX just makes sense. It just makes sense. And I've branched out into groups that talk about trading and all the rest of it. And I've heard these guys, and I'm in groups, and these guys know what the fuck they're doing, man. Like, they know what they're doing. But I'm sorry, I'm still not interested. Like, I just want to accumulate and increase for the future. And that is what this product is all about. I love that analogy. Like, when you hold on, and that's a classic story of the bear market, isn't it? Like, when people see it going down, they sell. Like me, for instance, my story, I got into crypto just before November, just before the peak. That's when I get in. So that's where I'm placed in the market. I get in at the top. I sold out all my commercial assets, which I consider Bitcoin and Ethereum. I hate Bitcoin because it's so tightly capitulated to the modern market, so I fucking hate it. But I got out of that at 38k, and Ethereum at the same time, and I do not regret it. I got out of that, got into HEX, a place where I could earn trustless yield. I could pay a certain fee to get a certain amount of coins back, which would then increase in the future. Like, like, if you're not in HEX for longevity, then, I mean, let's face it. I mean, you can talk about the old stories, like, oh, the people that get into Bitcoin when it was 50 cents. Like, it's the stories, as far as crypto is concerned, is as old as the ages, as far as understanding an asset and investing in it. You know what I mean? And one investment you have that is fucking safe long term is HEX, especially if you're smart with how you stake.
And you know what's interesting, DG, that people had to learn through losing money in this highly leveraged, bad code, unaudited crypto market. And it was like a teenager market. So now people had to understand through a checklist, like, is this project audited? I never asked myself that question. I wasn't interested. I was just interested in the FOMO and all the deals. Second, is it a good code or a bad code? People didn't ask those questions 1 year ago or 3 months ago, and they got into that, and they didn't ask if their founder is a scammer or whatever. So safety, liquidity, yield. And now I hear other YouTubers like which Richard Hart talked to, which is like crypto banter, is like, I told you so, man. You're like dumping on your followers, crypto banter, no? Talking about centralized exchanges and everything. You know, the market is changing. The market, in my opinion, is maturing from a teenager stage into a more adult stage, and understanding, oh, it's really important if I'm going to put money it should be audited. Oh my God, if I put money into something, it should be, DeFi, real DeFi with, you know what I mean? So that's why for me, Hex is going to have an exponential brand value, because it's been that, it has been that, and it's going to be that. It's doing it, but just the market has to notice it, and I think we have to talk about it more. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I like your analogy with the teenager status, and it's important to understand what you're getting into. For me, at the age I'm at, 41, with Hex, and looking at and understanding after having some experience in the crypto market, it was like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is the kind of product I want to be involved in. And I feel that I've not sacrificed for anything, just to put that out there for people. I'm not a sacrificer. I have no skin in that game. But these are pretty fucking safe projects for me. Not only safe projects, but super, super promising projects to get involved with. I only have Hex. For me, it's a fucking safe bet. Even on Ethereum, for me, it's a safe bet. Without getting into the details. But yeah, it's like Hex is a great intro. Like, it's a really safe intro. Like, there's not many safer assets in cryptocurrency, arguably. In fact, for me, not arguably, than Hex right now. There's, depending on strategies and what money you've got, but regardless, it's a safe project to be involved in, and a fucking fantastic community to learn from. Like, even just based on our discussion here, like, it just teaches people, and it's great to hear your insight.
Yeah, and that's why the initial question, why in bear markets do people do less research? Why in bear markets do people do less due diligence? Why do in bear markets people do less? No?
Well, that's human nature, my friend. Yeah, it's human nature, right? So let me explain a little bit about human nature. We have a survival instinct, okay, as a hominid, which is a negative bias, right? Which is to look for the negative in things to survive. Now, this used to be based off of, fuck, what was that noise? Fuck, I heard this, I heard that. Blah. You understand, like a predatory thing. What we have nowadays is a mismanaged negative bias where we just look to negative things and make ourselves feel bad. Do you understand? So in a bear market, it's all negative, everything is down. So we look at it, we look at the negative, we focus on the negative, but in the wrong way. Whereas what the reversal of that is, in a situation like we are in crypto in the bear market, is we see that we use our negative bias to understand that we are in a good place, which is what you would do in survival as well, where you might hear a sound, and if anyone's been out fucking, for instance, walking at night, and you've been like, oh, what was that sound? And then you're like, oh no, it's cool. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes, in some cases, it's like, oh, that's a good thing, but people focus on the negative, and they get fully attached to the negative, instead of seeing the possible benefits from it. In a survival sense, it's like, oh, negative, okay, it's safe, or oh, negative, right, I need to fucking run. Do you know what I mean? You see how that fucking mentality plays in a bear market where people run, they freeze, so it's fight, flight, or freeze. And this plays into the bear market. Fight, flight, or freeze.
The reptilian part of the brain, our most primitive brain, is fight or flight. But as a culture,
Fight, flight, freeze. Fight, flight, or
as an industry, people are learning that, oh, projects that don't have admin keys suck. Projects that I don't control my coins suck. So they have to learn through money, which is what I'm seeing. And I'm not like saying like, oh, this is great, but it's part of the maturity of the market from teenager to adult stage. Unaudited codes, not your keys, not your coins, over leveraged, founder risk, etc. So I think the whole market is learning that process. So like you said, DG, people are learning through money how to criticize their own biases, like the biases you mentioned.
Yes. This group's an important part of that for sure. And it's learning to manage your own money, learning to be your own bank, which is super important. And Pulsechain moving forward, the way the world is moving forward, is going to be one of the best places to do that for sure. No two ways about it. Like when Pulsechain launched, it's going to be one of the best places to do it.
And I'm so happy because what did we learn from last year? If Richard Hart was like a scammer and everything, he would launch the layer 1 right now. But no, he's being responsible and he's like, no, we gotta make this. We gotta make this right. That's my personal opinion, But I think that's why. I mean, because I've seen like layer 1s launch and ghost chains and like they don't give a fuck and it's just a pump and dump with a new name. And I think that's the responsibility of doing things seriously, and the launch phases, in my opinion, takes a while, and especially in code. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. You want to get it right, okay? And I've listened to some of the most vehement, dedicated people to this project get disgruntled because of the delay, although it's not really the delay, it's about what Richard Hart is doing right now to market it. That is literally the biggest bugbear. Trust me, I've listened to it many times, and I've listened to smart people go in circles with it as well. Where at one point,
yeah,
and then at the next moment they're like, "Oh, it's okay."
Yeah, and the logical argument is, why didn't he launch? Because he's not a scam. It needs time. Because if it was a scam, it was something weird, he would have done it right now. You know what I mean? Well, we've seen a few months ago, a few weeks ago.
Listen, anyone that thinks it's a fucking scam doesn't know what they're talking about. Simple as that. Simple as that. Everyone called Hex a scam. I'm not an OG Hex person. I wasn't in. I got in on the way down at 12 cents. And even I know it's not a scam. Especially when you understand the market. Like, it's dumb as fuck in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, no? Like, Amazon stock in the 2000s when there was a tech bubble. Amazon went 95%, and then it's many X's multiple of everything, and that's why. What are your thoughts and the rest? If anybody wants to come in the conversation, but with the over leveraged positions, bad code, and scammers of Celsius, Voyager, the Block DeFi, and the market is consolidating, liquidating all these bad actors, and we're going to go into a Phoenix moment of the strongest projects survive. And in my opinion, Hex and what's going to come next as futures is Pulse. So what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, if I'm being honest, is I fucking hate the current market. Like, I hate it because it's all based on the old ways, as I call it, the old ways, which is the trading market, the legacy market, etc. And it's been Bitcoin has been heavily infiltrated. If it wasn't a plant in the first place, just saying, heavily infiltrated by that market and is intrinsically tied to that market. And I don't want any of my assets being tied to Bitcoin or anything to do with it, which is why I love Pulsechain, because it's not going to be tied to that, and in ways that I can't properly explain, it is also protected from that market. So we're moving into a place where cryptocurrency can actually work the way it should. And that is made clear by so many projects that are launching off the back, not just of Pulsechain, but of the principle that Richard Hart set down. Like, so much is going to come from this, and we need to be in it as involved in it as we can, so that it remains solvent. And of course, remaining solvent means being connected to the standard market in a way, but we can do that with on ramps and off ramps. Like, that's not a big issue, not really. Especially in this market when there's all kinds of doors.
Yeah, and it's a normal process of a maturing market. I mean, crypto for a hedge investing fund, for a sovereign fund, for a governmental fund is in maturity, and they're seeing it that way.
Well, the fact of the matter is that all global currency is moving towards crypto. But, like...
Oh, the people, not the government. The people, not the government.
Yeah, I mean, well, the people will be told by the government to move into it. Like, I've said this before, mass adoption will only happen in crypto when people are told to do it. That's the only time mass adoption will happen. All right, I'm not interested in mass adoption. I'm interested in an ecosystem where I can make my money work for me and then, work it into the commercial market in a similar way that we already do just now. Just, I want an ecosystem that is away from the main market. I don't know where it's going to go after that, but I'm only interested in an ecosystem that is away from the main market. And for me in crypto, the main market is Bitcoin. Like, you know, Bitcoin capitulation, right? Like, fuck Bitcoin.
You know what? You know what's funny, DG? After all these liquidations and everything, what would you think are the top three problems of a new person getting into crypto or a person who is in crypto? What are the top three problems in crypto? And yeah,
Well, the number one in any industry is barrier for entry. So that's number one. Barrier for entry. How easy is it? How easy? Number one. And that's where Richard has a good idea of, you know, that fucking McDonald's style growth, you know, straight up, whatever the terminology is for it. That's number one. Marketing, number two. Number three would be, I don't know. Couldn't even give you a number three.
okay, let me replant the question. What was the three pains of this market of where people lost a lot of money in Luna, Celsius, all the other industry wise? What were the three top themes?
Oh, there's only one, like, fucking educate yourself. Like, yeah, like,
But be specific.
learn.
I mean, for example, not your keys,
Right,
not
right,
your
right,
coins,
right. See, right. Number fucking one, right? And this is a big problem with society in general, is expecting other people to take care of shit for you. Forget about that. Like, dumb as fuck. I live in the UK where we have almost like 70% of the society was dedicated to relying on the government to fucking supply them most of their life. Understand? So the number fucking one and the only fucking one thing is take responsibility. And I'm pretty sure that is a key philosophy of what Richard Hart teaches, is take some fucking responsibility. Like, don't just expect someone to tell you, I'm going to make 10,000 X off of this thing. This is what I talk about with this group, where the third-party projects aren't really talked about, right? And I'm in groups where we talk about third-party projects all the time, okay? And it's important that people that are new understand that it's a fucking minefield where you will lose money, you will get ripped off. Okay? So, number one, take responsibility for your own finances. Take some time to learn, to listen, and most importantly, ask questions, which there isn't enough of in this chat. Ask questions. Like, question everything, but question it correct. It's simple, man. Like, don't expect anything to be fed to you. And trust me, like, there's a lot of good shit in this chat that people will feed to you, you know, as long as you ask. And it'll be, they'll give you great information, and you're safe in this voice chat. Like, you're 100% safe if you ask questions, because you'll be, like, scammers, etc., are all filtered out in voice chat. Like, some scammer came in here just now. I'm pretty sure I could call that bitch out, you know. And I'm not even a fucking OG in this game. What is it they say?
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to say it, guys, but that's life. Like, if you're not willing to put some time and effort in, then you might get lucky, maybe, but the chances are you're going to get fucking wrecked. So, pay attention, ask questions, and learn. And in this game, it's much like a hockey stick. Like, you'll learn, and then, your knowledge will explode.
Yeah, and I think this market is learning how to do their own due diligence in terms of safe projects. I mean, I've had some friends that are not Hexicans that went to other projects, and now they're like, oh, now I understood the importance of not my keys, not my coins. And yeah, maybe this is historically, if a historian would document this 50 years later, like, oh, this is the time where people learned not your keys, not your coins, over leverage, many things in a historical view.
I hope so, man. I really hope so. And I hope everyone's listening. Like, fucking ask questions, man. Like, question. If you have a question, ask a question. Like, you ain't gonna get answers unless you ask. Simple as that. Few places better than this to ask.
Something that I love about this community, and I could say with a lot of pride, is that it helps you think by yourself.
Yes.
By watching the Richard Hart streams, I've watched the 8-hour ones. I've watched the 4-hour ones. I've watched the 2-hour ones. Personally, what I've developed is a personal way of thinking and analyzing the industry. And I think we as a community are giving those tools that no other project has, which is think for yourself. If I'm telling you 38 APY, don't take it as coin value. Why am I telling you 38 APY? Ask yourself that question. Don't just go into stuff. And I think as an industry as a whole, we're transitioning into those mature products that are doing what DeFi was supposed to be. Is the not your keys, man. Not your code. Is the we're going. Yeah.
And you know what? An important thing is also for anyone listening that you're talking about 30 whatever APY, right? That depends on mostly how long you stake. But you've got to understand that there's more to this game than a high APY. It's not just about how high your APY is. I mean, number one, the money you're investing is 100% within your control. If you do it right. Like, for me,
you don't even have to do it
number one.
It's a smart contract. You don't even have to do it right. It's coded. It's immutable. You can't fuck up with
No, I mean like to get the percentage. You understand the APY.
Okay.
My point is you don't like your safety is coded. Like the safety of what you're doing is coded. And trust me, Hex is not going anywhere. It's already surviving very well one of the worst bear markets that the cryptocurrency has ever seen. So Hex ain't going anywhere. I'm just saying to anyone listening, like, don't get FOMO'd about fucking 38 APY. Like, yes, you can get that 100%. You can get that, maybe even more. But in fact, even more when you include, you know, depending when you bring your stake out and how much the stuff is worth, etc.
Could I counter argument? Counter argument? Maybe Hex is not your instrument, because Hex is about delay gratification. And delay gratification is really boring, and you have to do the delay to get the gratification. And maybe it's not your instrument, you know? That's also something that Hex is showing to the whole market. And it's a specific market. And in the legacy traditional finance, it's a huge market. It's one of the top, you know, trillion markets. So you know, if you want pump and dump, you want excitement, you want Hex is not your product. You know what I mean? In terms of investment, it's delay gratification, it's discipline, it's audits, it's code. You know what I mean? It's a different type of.
I know what you mean. But I can.
Person.
Being involved with certain people, I can rebut that to a degree. You know, because I know guys that play with Bitcoin, play with Hex, etc. They get in, they get out, they make max, they make profit, all that stuff. But that's a real dangerous game. It's a dangerous game even before you know what you're doing in that game. So Hex can be that asset as well if you want it to be, but it's not a good game to play, not with this asset.
Yeah, I called you a DJ, but it's DG. You know what's funny? I was in the cycle of 2016, and I saw many ICOs. And this is somebody that nobody talks about so much, but all those asset lists are liquid. And when I saw Hex, I was very interested because it's both of them. You can keep it liquid and do what you would normally do in an ICO, you know, buy, hold, whatever. Pump and dumps is the hold because I like it. But what I really liked about Hex is that it's locking you up if you want to whatever time you want. 555. That for me was revolutionary because I never saw it in the 2016 cycle, and I haven't seen it since. And in legacy markets, I don't see that. So it's very interesting because you could do liquid stakes or half portfolios or 70-30s, whatever. You know, it's very interesting in how dynamic it is. And I think that original people are shaking out. I think we are in the paper hands diamond phase, and it's important. The same thing happened in Amazon. You were an initial investor, and you sold your shares at 95%. Okay, time after, you know the history. So history repeats itself. It doesn't repeat itself. It rhymes, and I think we're in that. And especially in crypto markets, where it's so responsible markets. I mean, imagine. I mean, I'm so relaxed in Hex. I mean, I'm talking to you. I don't have to be looking at my Twitter feed if Celsius says, oh, your withdrawals are back. Withdraw now, because I'm so relaxed with my instrument. And that's the instrument I want, I need. I'm not like paranoid because Voyager over leveraged themselves and oh my God, they're going to send me an email where all your funds are fucked, or my funds are in exchange, and then Coinbase is going to tell me, you know what, you're fucked. Or I don't need that. I have to do other projects. I mean, crypto is not my only project, and I think people should also relate to that. Don't make crypto all your life. Crypto should be to amplify your purchasing power and do other stuff. But there's only Hex that can do that. What I've seen in a safe manner, audited and blah blah blah. And we see all these dead bodies. It's like, dude, imagine if I don't have any Celsius or all that shit. Imagine I was like, hi, wife. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a Celsius email to approve my withdrawal, but it's canceled. What do you tell your wife? Oh, it's canceled. And your wife asks you, why is it canceled? And you say, oh, it's just some crypto teenager stuff. In summary, your wife asks you, why can't you get the fucking money we put in? You know what I mean? This is the Netflix series, the Amazon Prime series that is happening. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that, well, number one, I mean, you shouldn't be technically playing with money that you can't afford to lose is the number one rule. But I mean, don't put in money you aren't willing to lose. But I'm sorry, I ain't in that category. All the money, which is my savings, and you know, if I lost it,
me too. I'm not in that category. I'm just talking about the phenomena, about the industry phenomena.
No, what I'm telling you, dude, is I'm kind of in that category. I can't really afford to lose the money I have invested in this project. If I'm being realistic, like I can't afford to lose it. Do you know what I mean? Not really. Like I could pull this money out right now and run my business for another 3 months, which is fucking struggling. Do you understand? So, you know, technically, like it's, you know, I'm in that category where my money that's in it, I can't afford to lose, technically speaking. All right. But I have confidence in the project. No, it's not a project anymore. It's a literal fucking business acumen for me at this point. It's, well, not business, but business in the sense of creating for my future, which is why I have one really long stake that I know I'm going to be hire a yacht and have fun on my 45th birthday when I take it out, regardless of bear or bull. As far as the, like, so when Pulsechain launches, like you're gonna have some fucking amazing. You're gonna have some amazing.
Investments are serious, bro.
Investments are serious. But when the thing is,
I mean, for example, John Elrickman, who's a very important person in Bloomberg. Here we got it. I mean, Apple minus 23%. Okay. I mean, think about portfolio investment. Microsoft minus 24%, first half performance of 22. Amazon 35, Tesla 35. So the market is trying to understand, is it about the names? Is it about the fundamentals? Or was it about the future? So be careful because there are many things going on all around. And the market is consolidating. It's taking away the junk, and I go back to the analogy of the hail rain.
Listen, the bear market fucking drives out the weak ones. That's just a fact. I mean, we can extend this out of crypto into life. Like, low times filter out the weak, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. But with Pulsechain, like going back to what you were talking about with stakes and liquid and all that sort of kind of thing, like there's so much good shit that's going to happen on this chain. And we're not talking short term 10,000x. Oh, if I invest in this, I'm going to get 10,000x in fucking a couple of months. Like, no. We're talking long term. There's stuff that's going to be happening on Pulsechain that's going to allow you to do some amazing things. Like have liquid stakes. Yeah? Just based on the coins that you own and stuff like that. Like there's all kinds of fucking cool shit that's going to come out that you will hear about, especially if you pay attention. Yeah. But right now, just safest bet from someone in my position, and I'm saying in my position, and I think if I'm right on HEXradio, I'm ranked as like a crab. You know what I mean? I'm literally a bottom feeder. And this shit is promising. And from now until then, I'm just looking to accumulate. Because I don't have the money to diversify or experiment or anything like that. I just want to accumulate.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about DCA, your budget. I mean, for example, I have a budget. Every month I have to do this amount, but I divide it by weeks.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about DCA, mate, like I'm literally bottom of the barrel. I've got 130 USDC, and that's it. So I'm basically waiting for at least a 2.5 right now from the information I'm getting.
So from a fellow to fellow, I recommend that when you do that buy, record it in your trading journal or in your investment journal as I bought in one exhibition. Because it's very important, because it's not the same to buy at this price all in than to separate it. It's very different.
Absolutely. I mean, my plan personally is my good lady is very good with numbers, and I'm gonna, once the fork happens, I intend to pass all those numbers over to her, and then she will calculate everything, and then I'm gonna move forward from there. Simple as that. Because all that information is so important.
And the important thing is that you and your lady have to be convinced in the checklist. Do you like Hex? Do you like Pulsechain? Why? Because it's hard to make your own reason. It's not just like throwing money on.
Dude, that part for me is undisputable. Like, I have a great amount of faith in Pulsechain. Like, that side of things is indisputable for me, and by proxy for my good woman who doesn't know any better. But even when I've described in my very basic ways, I'm fucking terrible with numbers. Like I suppose what you would call number dyslexic. Like I'm terrible with them.
Yeah, the funny thing is, my wife is like you, and I'm like your wife. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, man.
opposite sides. I'm really good with numbers. My wife is the opposite, but it's funny.
Yeah, I'm the creative. But yeah, it's like I'm not
For
worried.
example, like like a married couple, we take decisions. And for example, I'm really advanced in crypto, and she is like a noobster. So how do you talk to your wife, whatever, your partner? How could you talk to different levels of knowledge?
Well,
And that's yeah, and that's why the checklist for me is so important.
so
Yeah, go ahead.
crossing the bridge for me, and I think this works both ways, is showing graphs, is showing charts. So with my missus, like I was like, okay, here's how much we're earning every day, and then like going on to like I can't remember the name of the site, but where you can chart the progression of your stakes, for instance. So I showed her that. I was like, here's a high average, here's a low average, and but even on the Hex go.hex.com, I went on to that and I showed her the numbers and she could see the wee graph and stuff. She's like, okay, yeah, I get this. And I explained the little bit I understand about T-shares. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'm on board with this. I get this. Especially when I talked to her about price appreciation and stuff like that. Like, she got it. She got it. She did the numbers and she's like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, the very worst, and the very worst is not going to be bad.
But she gets and you get the fundamentals. It's audited, immutable. That's very important because that's the decision making of other stuff.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, that's a fundamental, like a fundamental that I had to explain to her because she doesn't understand that. I was like, nothing about this can ever change, ever, ever. Like, this is set. Like, it's immutable, as you say. Like, this is set. Like, nobody can change this. The only way what I get from this can be changed is by me early end staking. That's the only way. What you see will only get better. It will never get worse. Depending, obviously, on price appreciation and when you pull your stake out. Obviously, like we have to take that into consideration. But the actual appreciation of coins will only get better. It will never get worse.
Yeah, and at the same time, Hex shows you this financial education of doing stake ladders. So the same as instead of buying right now all my budget, I divide it in parts. It's the same as with the staking ladders. You divide it in weeks, months, years, five. And I think it's a financial topic nobody talks about. Nobody's talking about financial education. I mean, look at Twitter and everything. Everybody's talking about liquidations and this and that, right and left. But nobody's talking about, okay, who's going to put in the financial education? Who's going to put in, what's supposed to be in the DeFi? Because now we're going back to DeFi. Before it was CeFi, centralized finance. Now we're going to CeFi, DeFi. But within DeFi, there's a lot of scams. So who are the survivors? It's very interesting, the progression of the hail rain, like I told you, DG.
Dude, we're living in an era where you can still get scams via your house phone. So, scams are scams. They're everywhere and they will always be there. you know, what we call snake oil peddlers from way back in the day. Like, they're always going to be there. Always, always, always. Like, it's ridiculous to think that they won't. And you can ever eliminate scumbags. Scumbags will always be there. Simple as that. As far as this community and what we do in this group, in particular, as far as keeping people safe, is we try to educate them on how to keep their funds safe over the long term. And so many people come into this, as I kind of came into it, not so much off of price appreciation, but I came into it with, oh, I'm going to double my coins, I'm going to double my money. Yeah, I was like, okay, right. Let's forget that notion. I'm going to get double the coin. I'm going to get double the coins on another chain, but I have to educate myself on what to do with those assets to make them profitable. I've moved beyond the, I put in X amount now, I'm going to get double that in the future. Like, forget that notion. Like, you have to educate yourself on what to do with your money. And that is a big part of this community. Like, how do you handle your money, aka your crypto or your coins or tokens or whatever you're invested in? Simple.
Imagine you go to a commercial center and you see all these DeFi, CeFi products, no? Then 6 months after, you see, oh, they went bust. Like, oh, this shop is not here anymore. Oh, why did it go away? And you start doing the gossip. And it's all about back to the basics. Not your keys, not your coins. So Hex is kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know. For me, it's a very exciting moment because people will be realized, and that's why we have to talk about it more, because we're being gate kept, and that is so fucking conspiracy cabal from this fucking industry. It's like Celsius, irresponsible lawsuit, everything. The 3 Hours Capital, Voyager, DeFi block, DeFi chain. I mean, I don't know how many to tell you. I mean, this is so irresponsible, and still, CoinMarketCap is looked at as the number one reference. It's like, I'm so sure that it's going to change because people, by losing money or by investigating, will see it's not that way. I don't know what your thoughts.
One of the only things I've got to say, right, is as far as your money, to anyone here listening that has savings, etc., like, you can hold it in USDC and it will kind of maintain its value, right? You can't, like, your dollar is just devalued. You'll probably get more out of transferring back and forth from USDC than you would from your dollar. But for me, and I'm in the UK with the pound, which is still relatively strong, the US dollar is going down and down and down. I mean, I believe it's weaker than the Russian ruble right now, if memory serves. But HEX, like, when you're talking long term, because everything is going to move into cryptocurrency, guys. Everything. Absolutely everything. If you want to gain from your savings, this is me talking because this is what I'm doing. This is where I am. If you want to gain from your savings, HEX is your safest bet. That's all I'll say. It's a real safe bet for it. Especially if you buy in now. Like, ridiculous. We're never going to see this price again after a year. Like, forget about it. So know that for pretty much a fact, unless everything goes down, unless like everything, the whole world collapses. You know, you're not going to see this price again for a long time after a couple of months. So for me, Hex is my safe money, which I can make money from a fucking decent APY, way better than the banks give you now and are ever likely to give you in the future, especially as we move into digital currency.
Yeah, and personally, it's for me the psychological security that it's immutable, been audited 3 times.
Yes.
Many dead bodies are floating. So, you know, for me, that's an actual opportunity to invest more for me, because in early ecosystems, there's many new projects. You don't know what's going on, and time in the market, like many awesome hexicans have said here, is the value. And I think we are in that moment of people who were in other projects, two options, in my opinion. They lost all their money, so they're just going to go back to work and don't give a fuck. And when the next bull market happens, they'll come back in. The others, they will restart to restructure the portfolio and reorganize their positions into serious projects. In my opinion, is Hex and what's coming up to Pulse. But Hex for me is the initial. For me, there's going to be a shift in mindset. Like, oh, I lost all my money. It's like, okay, for example, can I sell all my Hex right now? Yes, you can. And we see it every day. Can I sell all my Celsius? No. You got to send emails, bro. You got to send this and that. Can I sell all my Voyager? Whatever, Block DeFi, all these loans type of systems. Can I, me as a user, can I liquidate my position? Oh, it depends. It depends. And most probably it's limited or non-existent. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one asset outside of Pulsechain that I'm interested in, and that's Hex. I mean, there is one other one that I'm interested in, but nah, I ain't gonna pull the trigger on that. No way. I've decided now. Definitely not pulling the trigger on it because I ain't gonna go into that. But there's only one asset I'm interested on this side, and that's Hex. Simple as that. I don't care about Ethereum other than paying for buying Hex right now, and then that'll move to Pulse to buy assets on Pulsechain, because that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to keep all my EHEX, by the way. I ain't selling any of my Hex on Ethereum. In fact, that will probably all get staked out because there's a good chance that the APY might fucking shoot up on that shit. But yeah, I mean, it's for me in crypto, I break it down this way. Bitcoin controls the market. As far as I'm concerned, without any conspiracy theories, Bitcoin is a controlled asset, directly connected, as I say, to the old ways. So I'm not touching that. with a fucking barge pole. Never mind all the energy costs, etc. Like that aside, like on a personal level, I ain't touching that. Personal philosophical level, fuck that. Ethereum directly correlated, and we'll see what happens with our proof of stake, but that'll take a long time before that could even come close to decorrelating with it. Pulsechain completely decorrelated, man. So we're talking about not just a new blockchain, but a different market.
How you doing, guys?
Oh, hello.
You know where PulseX gonna launch?
Nope.
You know how many X's will do when you launch it? What is it?
The 10,000X guy.
That's me, brother. 10,000X.
Man, we've been where you been, man?
See, I got locked up. I've been in the penitentiary.
Cat is back.
10,000X. Hex. Or Pulsechain.
They fed me cat food over there in the penitentiary, man.
Give it.
They give
Been
me,
locked down, brother.
They give me bologna, cat food. You gotta take shower with you, some dirty motherfuckers. Hello?
Yep.
Been chowing down on that whiskers.
Who missed cat in this chat room?
Me.
So what is your thought, 10,000 Cat? Why in bear markets people interact less?
Say it again. I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, why in bear markets people interact less?
Because the gas fuel is high. There's gases going up. It's going to reach up to $8 a gallon.
No, Biden.
Don't worry, Biden will die next year. Everything will go down.
Oh, man. Tough crowd.
How have you been, Cat?
Yeah.
How's your stomach?
My stomach is good. My stomach is good,
Okay,
man.
man. Good to hear. Welcome back.
Thank you. You know when PulseX gonna launch, man?
Nah,
2 weeks.
there's no date. Just
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
January,
so.
bro. January. Don't hold your
Richard
breath
Hart
till then.
said next year. Richard Hart said next year.
Come on, man. Everybody knows it's 2 weeks.
I don't think so,
It's
buddy.
not real popular when I say it, but I'm pretty confident it's going to launch sometime in January.
Yeah, absolutely
That
correct.
sounds about right to me.
He said he don't want to put it in the bear market.
I reckon
Bear market,
August.
when Hex launched, bear market makes people millionaires.
How?
Because when you bear market, that's when you buy. That's when you make the money. Buying the bear market, and reaping the bull run.
That's what you think, buddy. When Biden get out, the bear market would end. As long as he's staying in office, it can still continue. You understand, guys?
Well, he does like to hide underground.
I think it's better off when he launches a couple more years. That's what I think.
Why so?
Ask Biden. We need help.
Oh no, I mean I've viewed Biden and I understand a fair amount of the economy over there. I'm just curious what your thoughts
People
are
gave up with
on.
Pulsex, Pulsechain. Nobody's in the room no more. Used to be like 100 people, 150.
Yeah,
Now
I
it's like
mean we can't.
25 people.
Yeah, we can't measure the market off this chat room though. Yeah, so that seems a bit silly.
I think in 2 years we're gonna make like 10x with PulseX when it launch.
Well, by the estimations of many smart people, like in 3 years we'll be at the top of the bull market. So it's a kind of a moot statement, no?
How many X's
Think
in 2
Pulse
years
will
with
do
Pulse?
250x first 36 months.
What?
Minimum 250x.
I talk about 1 year to 2 years.
I think it'll do a minimum 250x the first 2 years. Again, that's a
I
minimum.
don't think so. I don't think so.
What do you think it'll do first
Because
24 months?
Maybe 10x, 15x.
I mean,
Uh,
if you're talking about
a
Pulse, I
layer
can
one,
agree with
a layer
Cat's there
one,
for sure.
the first 24 months, it'll be 250x minimum first 24 months.
I just feel it's a different thing from the likes of Ethereum, like Pulse. I don't think it's gonna like rock as hard as people think. Apart from in the volatility phase of the first year to 2 years.
Can I ask you a question for KitKat? What's your favorite dead body in this industry?
What the fuck?
Heck with that.
Your favorite dead body.
I want to hear the answer.
Freddy Krueger.
Good answer.
Hey,
Like that
10,000
funny?
Kit Kats, I want to let you know that we played a game a few weeks ago, named that Hexagon, and we played a game where people said certain things or certain things that we're familiar with and stuff, and you came up a few times.
For real?
It was one of the funnest games. It was super, super fun. We'll play it again later.
My favorite dead bodies are Celsius and Solana.
Yeah.
Still, Celsius is not dead yet. I get a 50-50 chance of surviving.
I heard Pulse
Fuck
Chain's gonna.
Bitcoin.
I heard Pulse Chain is gonna do real good in 2 years.
Celsius had a big hit. They couldn't pull out their money for a while because they were tied to 3 arrows.
Yeah, but they're slowly paying off the debt. They're paying it off. They paid off over 100 million so far, and they're lowering their fall over value, like where they fall over completely. They keep on lowering it. So I give them 50% chance, a coin cost, that they're going to survive in some form or another. I reckon they will. I've got nothing in Celsius. I haven't got a foot in that race, but I reckon they could survive. They might survive yet.
Oh, no doubt they'll survive in one form or another. That's what these fuckers do.
According to Richard Hart, we got another down leg. So you're right, 50-50.
Yeah, but what do you think?
I don't know. If we have another down leg, it's going to be a lot of dead soldiers out there.
Pause.
So for me, the most emblematic dead body is 3 Hours Capital.
Yeah, they fucked up big time, eh? They really fucked up.
All right. The question is, why did they lend them so much money or Bitcoin?
It's just greed, all around greed. They're all leaning up against each other.
So, Cat,
Many dead.
Cat,
Yeah, go ahead.
why aren't you so bullish on PulseX?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Why I'm bullish? Because one of my friends made $5 million from Hex. That's why I'm real bullish.
That's awesome, man. You're going to do it too with PulseX.
I hope so. With this bear market, I don't think so.
Not just right now, but it's going to happen, boy.
I'm waiting for 10,000x.
That sounds nice.
You don't think so?
10,000x? We all like to think that, but you never know.
After all the bloodbath, there could be that opportunity.
If it went to 10,000x, they'd have to print a whole lot more USDC and USDT so we can get out through the exits. There's not enough going around.
Say 2,000x, 3,000x.
Let's say I wouldn't object.
Hex did 14,000x.
Even 2,000x, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
$2,000x, I could buy Estonia and charge the Russians entry fee.
Give you a passport.
I could buy the castle that Richard's hiding out in there, and you have to pay me rent.
The favorite dead bodies was Celsius, and what was the other one?
Hey, Cat.
Yes, sir.
Did you just send out a message, or is someone using your name to spam people?
I sent a message.
Oh yeah?
About
What are you hitting me up with?
You make 1 point. You make 2% a day. Stacking. If you're interested, guys.
You shilling. You shilling. What are you shilling here?
Stacking pancake swap. Pancake swap.
Yeah, but what are you staking there?
USDT.
Sounds dangerous.
No, I've been doing it for 3 months.
Oh, sweet. How much a day?
2.30, like that. 2.50. Been doing it
Have you looked
3
into how
months.
how are they making their money? What are they doing with USDT?
They're mining. They got mining machines and they do trading. If you sign people under your link, you get 30% payouts. There's 3 ways to make money. Your daily income. Okay. Second, uh, you invite people. When they cash out, you get 30%. Third, when you invite so many people, they give you salary.
I've heard of these schemes. I've seen this before. These schemes always fall over.
I've been doing it for 3 months and a half.
Yeah, give it 6 months or a year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, like 1 year. That thing is good for 2 years, 3 years. Try to make money anywhere. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm just thinking they're going to pay me over $300 a day if I give them
Depends.
10,000 USDT.
Depends. You don't have to put 10,000. Put whatever you want to put. $500. Huh?
Using that as for instance, you know.
You can put $100. You can put $200. You don't have to put 10 grand. You put 1,000. You make $20 a day.
Do they compound?
Yes, they do compound. They compound. I already made 20 grand in 3 months.
I want $50,000. My back, my neck, and my back.
Start small. See how you like it. Don't throw big money in there.
Sorry, I was just quoting Friday.
The money went in my wallet like 20 times so far. Never had problems. I talk about big money. I talk about 20 grand. I'm not talking about 200, 500 bucks.
You ever notice how we seem to have lost some of the loudest voices in here? Jake's not here. Pepe's not here. Who's the other guy? Filipino's not here. There's a couple others. You don't see many. They used to talk up a storm. Now you don't hear them.
They gave
Where'd
up
they
because
go?
it's not launching. You keep on talking about the same thing over and over. It's gonna launch
I know.
tomorrow. It's gonna launch next week. It's gonna hit 20,000x.
100%. We're all blessed.
What is it?
100%. We're all blessed.
It's gonna hit.
Who's that?
Not this year. It's not gonna launch this year. I told these guys. January is gonna launch. Even Richard Hart tweeted. Not in the bear market, guys. Be patient.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelt on.
And then
It's gonna launch next year.
And didn't you hear his 4-hour Twitter Spaces thing the other day?
Yes, I heard him. He said next year it's gonna launch. It's a lot of work to do, guys. It's not easy project.
Did he actually say next year?
Yeah, he said next year.
No, he didn't actually say it, but that's what he implied.
He said it from his own mouth. Next year. Should be happy, guys. I don't put in the bear market, guys. You should be proud of me, guys.
He didn't
That's what
say
he
we
said.
were launching next year, but he implied it. He gave that an implication it could be next year.
He said it in a different term, buddy. He said not this year, next year.
Maybe in a different term, but he didn't say it would next. He didn't say outright it would launch next year. But I get what you're saying. I believe it's going to launch in January too.
Yeah, it's gonna launch in January. Watch and see. He even said it. You want to make money now, guys? Do stacking 2%. There's 1 day term, 7 day term, 30 days term, 60 days, and 180 days term. When you cash out, they take 30% of your earnings. Okay? Say you make $23 a day. They take 3%. It's 30%. If you make $1,000 one month, they take 30%. You end up making up $700 a month.
Why don't they just pay you flat out a lower rate instead of doing all that bullshit?
Say it again.
Why don't they just pay you less and cut out that bullshit? I mean, what's the point of here's some? It might as well be a tax man, you know. I just saw a comment in the chat that says, "We might get another Rolex or handbag unveiling as your face is getting pressed into the dirt." Does that work? Good comment. You know, the longer it takes for this to launch, a certain percentage of hexagons are actually going to die before they get to see what they sacrifice for. A handful of hexagons will be dead. It's a statistical certainty. And the longer it takes, the more people will be dead.
Let Richard Hart take his time. If you launch, you're going to be shitting your pants, guys. It's going to end up to zero.
So say one hexagon per month is dying of natural causes or starvation or something per month. So how many more deceased people do we have to wait, do you think? January, you reckon? So 7, 6? Okay, 6 deceased people.
Are you happy, guys, for next year?
Hey, KitKat,
Yes, sir.
I dare you to send that link to Papa Bona.
I did.
Go on. You did?
Hey, buddy. Hey, guys, I'm not going to hurt you or try to scam you guys. I'm making money 3 months and a half in this project. I'm making money off that project. Honestly, it's a good project. You could try it out, my friend. You heard me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Honestly, you could try it out. You see it from your, you see how it is. Under me, people under me, I got $250,000 under me.
And I'll take a stab. That's where you're making most of your money. Not on what you got invested, but the people who invest under you. That's how these things work.
Yeah, that's how it is. When you have people under you, you get 30% when they cash out. 30%. You signed up under 3 people, you get 30%. When people signed up, it goes from your friends, your other friends, your family, you know what I mean?
Man, alarm bells are ringing right over here, I tell you. That is a typical pyramid scheme.
I don't know, I've been doing it 3 months and a half.